Hello and welcome to the AVNI Interviews. We're your hosts, Eric Bork and Mikey Taylor.
What up?
We're the co-founders in AVNI Intelligence, an intelligence brand for influencers and entrepreneurs. Here on the AVNI Interviews, we interview influencers and entrepreneurs who have valuable insights to help people do the work they want and the lifestyle they love. Today's guest is a DIYer and the creator of Living to DIY. She worked her way into doing deals with Home Depot and many others, doing what she loves. And she works with power tools and does amazing looking DIY projects. Trust me, honestly, they're amazing. Rachel Metz.
Thank
Rachel,
you guys.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks. I'm nervous first and foremost, so I'm just going to throw that out there. So if my voice is shaky, that's why.
This is the first one.
First one.
God. Yeah, but you know what? You're on camera all the time.
No, I'm not. I'm behind the camera all the time.
You're producing.
I'm never in front. That's why, because I hate it.
Yeah, Ryan, who is our camera guy,
He
hates being in front of the camera.
Yeah, you like being
Hates
behind it or you like being in front of it?
Yeah.
All right. So how do you get started with are you a DIYer?
Yeah, a DIY guru.
So like if somebody comes up to you, they go, "Hey, Rach, what do you do?"
I always say DIY YouTuber because this generation, they know what YouTube is. So
Sure.
like some people that don't know what DIY is, it's like not an awkward pause in the conversation. Like, oh, YouTube. Yeah. Okay. And they can walk away. But for people that know, they're like, what kind of DIYs? And then I'm like, everything. I do any and everything that's a necessity to me, or I need it just for a friend or a gift. I just figure it out and I DIY whatever it is in front of me.
I mean, I think it's rad.
Thank you.
I think that's cool. How did you, I mean, I've known you for a long time, so
Yeah.
I watched the transition happen, but
Yeah.
why don't you tell everybody how you got started?
Well, I've been fired from every single actual job I've held, like every single one. And it's always come down to a management issue. Like if I request a day off and they didn't give it to me, I just wouldn't show up. Like, you can't tell me. And like, I don't own the company, like figure it out. So after enough jobs of being fired from, I realized like, I got to just be my own boss. This isn't working. I'm not happy. I don't like being under other people. And long story short, I dabbled in baking and wedding planning and wedding coordinating, and I just realized like don't like it. Like once it became a profession essentially, or my career, I wanted it to be a hobby. But DIYing and hosting and entertaining and teaching people the details to add to an occasion, that never goes out of style, and I don't think that would ever turn into a job. So finally I'm like, why don't I just do a YouTube channel and figure it out? And I got a team together in the beginning, and eventually I was like, I don't want to wait on anybody else. So then I slowly became a one-woman show, and now I film, edit, voiceover, everything. So now I don't want to depend on anybody.
Isn't it crazy how you can hate working for somebody, and then you go kind of become your own boss, and everyone thinks like, oh yeah, you just don't have to work, but you end up, I think, working more than you did when you had a boss, but it just doesn't feel like work. It's just like,
yeah, because it's
like you're doing a ton of things right now.
Yeah, a ton. But at the same time, like, again, it's not, I mean, like for you, for instance, like skateboarding, that's not a job. You have fun doing it. Like you look forward to it. Maybe the back end of like editing a clip or a thumbnail or whatever it may be, you're not necessarily stoked on, but you do it because it's a part of what you love. And then you end up just loving it because it's contributing to your dream. So you never hate anything that has to do with it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think you should always be passionate about what you're doing, and then you just end up doing it. I mean, you don't realize how much you're actually doing it. Yeah. And then you look back at, God, I'm like doing this all the time.
All the time. And like all by yourself. If you are a one woman or like one man show, whatever, I think you don't even think about it at a certain point. For me, I feel like I have 8 arms at all times and I'm doing everything. And like some moments I'll get stressed, but then I'm like, at least it's not me in retail. Or I'm a store manager of 8 girls that I'm not really particularly a fan of. So I got to be faking it in front of them, but it's like I can get stressed in my own area, but it still turns right back into passion because it's like we're stressed about pursuing our dream. Like, let's be realistic. Yeah. Let's get back to work, you know?
Yeah. And what was the health scare that kind of caused you to take action in this?
It was like a lead up of a couple of things. I had, for guys it might be a little weird, but I had a lump in my breast that I had to get removed, and that freaked me out because it was just like a scare in general, and you're just like, what the hell did I just go through? But it's so the smallest scare out of what you could go through as a woman. Like it was like there was no cancer, there was nothing. It just had to be removed. And then the second one was cancerous cells, like just oh, you might be on the edge of having cervical cancer. We need to talk about if you want to have kids. We might have to have a surgery that you can't have kids anymore, or whatever it was. It was just a lot of serious talk while figuring it out. And I just overloaded on stress. And when I went to a specialist with Paul, we flew to Minnesota to see like this one doctor, and he was like, listen, it's just stress. Like if you are in an unhealthy environment, like you're just creating basically like what feeds this thing. And I had to save up money when I got back home. Like, dude, fuck this. I need to save up money and just quit. I need to grab my balls and do it. Because I always wanted to, but I never did.
So this is the point when you're working for somebody.
Free people. Yeah.
Okay.
I was a store manager in Glendale, and it was terrible. Terrible. It was horrible. It takes a toll on everything. That's what I realized. Like, I mean, I was crazy to Paul, you know, because like I was miserable at my job. I'd come home, bring work home, and like not even like cussing him out, but just like cussing out my day, and like that energy goes through. And then like obviously there's a mini human in the house, so, like she can feel that that negativity trickled into everything. And then the one person that it actually affects, when it came back health wise, I was like, whoa, okay, this is true, and it's right in front of me, and I need to step away. And so that was my push to change it all. So
then once you, I imagine, you know, I knew you when you were baking or doing the
Tickle Me Sweet,
right?
What a terrible name. I had that for so long, and when I came up with it, I was like, it's gold. And it was, and now I look back, I'm like, what?
Yeah, but you were doing what, muffins or
Cake
cakes?
pops.
They were good though.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
I still do them. I do them now. I get paid to do them to be like a guest blogger. Like, can you do cake pops? I'm like, sure. And it's like, I make 6 of them for 7 times the amount of money that I would get paid normally. And I'm like, what is this? How did that go backwards? How did I have a business based on this and I wasn't making that much money? And now I'm stress free, and they're just asking on the side. I'm like, let's do it.
So a lot of people have a hard time, a lot of people have hobbies or things they're passionate about, but a lot of people have a hard time turning a passion into income or a job, right? Where did you when did you get to the point where you're like, okay, I like DIY, I'm going to create these videos. Like, how can I turn this into my career? What was the kind of the thought process of like, I'm going to make money doing this?
When I first initially quit my job, I genuinely didn't know. I did research for, I think, not even a month. I just YouTube is YouTube. So how do you film? How do you edit? What's the best camera? And then I would study people that I liked. Wait, what was the question? I totally went off of it. I was going in such a different direction.
I actually do that all the time.
Okay,
like, people
sorry.
ask me a question, and like I just
got caught on another thought. You said, how did I even just do it? Turn it into my passion or my hobby into
how did you start making money from it, or how did you go? Like for us, right? We grew up loving skateboarding, right? So we were skating all the time.
Yep.
But skating all the time and then getting paid to skate is 2 different things, right?
100%.
So how did you take it and go, okay, this is DIY, which a lot of people do. I'm going to make a career out of this. Like, how did you start making money doing it?
I didn't up until like the middle of last year, and I've been doing it for 2 years. And thank God I'm dating Paul, because in those moments of like, oh, I'm not getting paid, or like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm spending more money. I'm like losing all my money. I'm not making anything from YouTube. And he's just like, be consistent. Don't stop. Like, keep going. And that's what it comes down to. It's like skating, exactly like you said. You didn't make money right when you started skating. It's the same thing with everything else. You have to just be confident that you're gonna make that bread. And you just keep chasing that. Like, okay, I'm gonna get these deals. I'm envisioning working with these people. It's just a law of attraction for me in that moment. Like when I'm feeling down, when I did that, I would just, if I was doing a DIY that I was losing a lot of money on, I'd envision Home Depot sponsoring it, or I envision Martha Stewart next to me and be like working with me because I'm working on her show. And that's honestly what like fed me into doing it. And then I started landing deals that were similar to the visions I was giving myself.
So you mentioned Paul.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Paul Rodriguez.
Yes.
And I don't want to talk too much about him because what you do is so different than what he does.
Yeah.
But like, was there any part of, like, Paul has a certain outlook or a mindset that to me is very, it's the key to his success.
Yes.
Right? Was he kind of a big factor in those 2 years of you doing it him kind of keeping you on track, or did you just know, like, I'm going to make this happen?
Well, it was so annoying to date him at first and I don't know, I'm obviously speaking by experience, my personal experience, but when you're dating someone that like already has their shit figured out, no matter what career it's in, and you don't necessarily, and you're coming in and you know you have that passion, because like people like us, people that start things, you have a passion. Like 10 years ago, you didn't think you were going to do a podcast, I don't think, you know, but you have this fire that just always burned. And then finally, when the podcast came, you're like, this is perfect. This gels right into it.
Yeah,
so
it's the problem of entrepreneurs. You just want to do everything.
Yeah. So when I started dating him, I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is so inspiring. This is great. And then like a year in, after like I hated baking, I tried wedding coordinating. I just like went out trying to do all these things. Nothing really worked for me. And Paul just always I'd come home, he was always smiling, just always stoked. And I'm a Gemini and I'm psychotic. So like I'm up and down. Like if I'm good one day, I'm bad the next. So with him, unfortunately, he's just even. Like he's always in the best mood possible. And that was challenging. So I'd come home and I wanted someone to stoop to my level and like talk shit about my job and really give me what I needed. And then sure enough, it wouldn't be like
You're
that.
not getting that out of Paul.
I'm not. And he's literally like, well, babe, maybe this happened for a reason. Like, you don't know why you're managing this team. It's crazy, but you might need it later. And I'm like, how do you think like that? Like, I didn't have that mentality. I always wanted it. I never had it. The first 3 years of us dating, actually. And then finally, when I quit my job and just dove into YouTube, it sucked. Because, like, all the fights I started, all like you're selfish, I can't believe you. Like, and I think girlfriends that are dating people that are doing stuff and you're not, like you don't have that one thing that you're passionate about, that's where your aggression comes from. Like not because you're mad at them, but because you want to be like that. If you have that fire in you, you want to have your fire burning like they're burning. You want to meet their fire. Yeah. So with Paul, right when I felt it, the first time I got a big deal, I looked over at him and I was like, I am so sorry. Like I was so crazy the first 3 years. I like every day, at least once a day, I'll probably be like, something new will pop up and he'll just look at me. And I'll be like, oh, like I totally yelled at you for that like 4 years ago or whatever. Yeah. So it was a curse in the beginning for me, but now I'm like, I get it. Like it just turned into like the mentality that I have now. And like, how awesome is that? Because Paul's mentality is, I think, like one of the topper echelons you can have, because it just turns every single thing into like, no, you can actually turn that around and make bread, or you can turn that around and pursue something new.
So tell us about the first deal you did, the effort that went into it when you got paid.
I got my first actual like big deal with Home Depot where I tripped out, just like, whoa, like I don't even know what tech like smart home is. They wanted me to review an Ecobee thermostat, and I just stayed up all night, like weeks before when the contract was signed, everything, just watching other people's reviews. I didn't like any of them. I thought they were super cheesy. I didn't really like how they told you how to install it. It felt super dry. But people really liked it, like views wise, and it got a lot of attention. So with them, I was nervous, like, well, do they want super, like with skateboarding, there's different styles. It's very funny how everything can relate back to skating. Like there's different styles. And for me, getting a paid campaign, I'm like, okay, well, what style do they want? And I just threw it out the window. I'm like, I'm just going to film it how I want to film it. And I did. And it was actually stress-free because I just did what I wanted to do. I was very confident with it and I submitted it. But then I go over the top. I like send them the captions with the pictures that I'm posting with the hashtags. Like I'm just that type of person. So when they got it, I think the woman, shout out to Raven, I was working with, she was like, what? Like an Instagram teaser, like 6 more photos than I needed that was in your contract. Like I just went above and beyond because I'm like, I'm going to start doing this for all of them. Like just be on top of it. And that after I got the response from them, like, this is great, we have another campaign, I was like, okay, so proof is in the pudding. Let's just be our own person in this industry and go after whatever they hand you.
Nice.
I think that's actually a big thing that most people kind of don't hit the bar on, is you have to, I mean, everybody, this space is so competitive with like trying to get deals, and everybody kind of, it feels like everybody has a following at this point. Like you really do have to go above and beyond what they're used to or what the standard is.
Yeah.
I think that was great to, maybe if you didn't realize doing it, you're just like, hey, this is how I am. I'm just going to do all these things that I would do.
That's like, well, for me, it's like how I think about it is if I were to outsource someone for a campaign, I wouldn't want to get the bare work back. Like I wouldn't want to get just what the contract said. I would expect it. Like, okay, that's what we're technically paying you for. But then that's when you develop a relationship. And when I first started working with Home Depot, it was for free, but it was a separate company. And I just pitched a project through their online situation that they had going on. And I built like a PDF vision board of what I wanted the project to look like. And the girl was like, done, you're in, like, let's do a blog post. And then that led to Raven seeing it and was like, wait, we want you to do campaigns. And so I just kept it up.
So you're saying Raven and you're doing deals with Home Depot.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing the actual deal with Home Depot or are you working with their agency?
Their agency. I actually never asked, but it's called 22 Squared. And I work with like 4 of the girls over there, and every single one, they're so dope. Like they're all just like, because I talk to them like girlfriends, because I feel like if you're talking to someone you're working with, you want to feel like you can relate to them.
Yeah.
So like I always say I want you to feel like you're having mimosas with me on like a Tuesday morning. So all my emails like, what's up? Like, what's going on? Happy hump day. Like, I'm not professional. I'm just myself. And I think that's truly what people forget. Like, you can be professional, but still keep your flair. And then that makes you stand out even more because you're not like cookie cutting your emails back. You're really staying true to yourself in all forms.
So for that one, you said you did, they wanted a video, you did 4 videos. Back up to the time when you weren't making money. Tell us some of the stuff that you did for people listening that you feel like helped you get to the point of getting paid.
Oh, engagement. 100% engagement. Like, I would put out a video every single week, and I wasn't really even thinking about getting sponsors because I was so nervous this first year. Like, what? I have 4 videos on my channel. I can't like pitch myself to anybody. They're gonna be like, you have 100 subscribers. Okay. Like, so I waited till I got enough of a chunk that I knew could kind of make a splash. But even then I was scared to reach out. So I just stayed in this like no making zone for so long. But then I focused on my community. So like Instagram, any comment, you can go on any of my socials. I comment back to everything. And you don't know it sometimes, but people that are agencies of Home Depot or just, you know, their personal tag on Instagram, and you're talking to these people for so long, and then they hit you up and they're like, we'd love to do a collab and pay you X amount. I'm like, you work for that company? I didn't even know. I just really like talking to you. So I would say engagement, like just staying involved in the community that you decided to become a part of. Because you can't hold yourself separate from it and like try to get in. You got to like really get in with the people that support it.
Yeah.
So that was the only way I could see in. And I really didn't think about money in the beginning because I knew it wasn't going to happen so quickly.
So when did you feel like you had enough subscribers or enough followers to start approaching that?
10,000. I thought that was
number?
the shit. I was like, yeah, that's good.
That
like,
is
we
kind
got
of the
this.
magic
This is
number,
10,000.
though.
This is subscribers on YouTube?
Subscribers on YouTube.
And once you hit that, you're like, I'm ready.
Yeah, like, okay, we got this. Like, we can figure this out. And it did. And then you just have to be confident within pitching yourself, which I'm never good with. I'm my own worst critic in every front. So making like a media kit, I had my friend write my intro, my friend Cassie. Thank God I still use it on it because it's so good. But I was like, I don't know how to explain myself. She's like, I got you. And like wrote me an intro and I put it in there. But I could never sell myself, I don't think, early on when I didn't have anything.
So I think this is good just for people that may be trying to do this. So you had a whole, deck to present to sponsors?
Yeah, I had like essentially for me, I wanted it to be just a snapshot. I didn't want it to be more than a page. I wanted it to be able to be opened up on your phone and it's the same quality wherever. And it's just like a snapshot of your social stats and your percentages on your back end of female versus male, US versus other countries. I just wanted them to really know
all
like,
your analytics of
all my
who
analytics.
you can reach.
Yeah, like I averaged them all, but I don't know. I hope I did it right. But like I took all my back ends and just did the math and was like, okay, this makes sense. And then on it, you have like a couple of points of just who you are. Like I make cocktails, I use power tools, I host parties, like, and you're just, who is this person? Why does she do so many things? It's just, I wanted to be a jack of all trades and let everyone know it. And so that's what I put on there. And then now it's like actually getting responses. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, I've hit you up about this before.
Yeah.
I've had companies, and I've never, even to this day, I've never done a sponsored post.
You didn't end up taking that?
No, I didn't take it. But I've only had a few hit me up, and I didn't even know where to begin. I called Paul. I was like, what do you ask for? And I was like,
he's
I can't ask for that. So I called you. I'm like, what do you ask for?
I'm like, we'll be in just conversation, and I'm like stoked on my deals, like, this is insane. And then the other day he's like 3 photos for blah, and I looked over, I was like, how do you even pretend to be excited?
Paul, what'd you get for those 15K?
Yeah,
like, Paul.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't get that.
Yeah, that's
Rachel, what'd you get?
Yeah, I'm
You're like 2,000. Okay, cool. I can do that.
Yeah, but like with him, I'm just like, what? But again, it's all in numbers.
That's
so like that should be inspiring. Like when you hear that, because you're like, I gotta step it up and get my numbers up there.
Yeah.
But they should be looking at engagement because I get paid way more than other people if they look at engagement.
I think it's all about engagement, especially now. Like kind of what's going on with not YouTube, Instagram, it's really hard to tell who has a real following, right? All these people are paying for followers, which you used to be able to figure out, but now that you can pay for likes and comments, it's hard to know who truly has a following and who doesn't.
But even that, I get just on a personal, or like just I think about when people pay me to post stuff, like Instagram filters it. So sometimes I won't see stuff for 3 days and I won't know someone had a video up because I'm not necessarily notified on YouTube about it. But then I'll like scroll through, it's like new video drop, and I look, it's like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
So when like sponsors or campaigns are being paid for to post on Instagram, like what are you really paying for? Because Instagram really just filters it how they please.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question for you.
Yep.
I remember you were getting into DIY and I bumped into you and you said, I'm doing it. And then your content came out and it was just like, I was kind of floored. It was really good from the get-go. So how did you make your content that good? Do you have a background in design, or how did you make your content that good?
Nothing. I didn't have any experience at all in filming, editing, photography. I was terrible at it. I didn't even know how to like record or set settings on the camera. I just YouTubed everything. But the main thing was I found footage that I did like, and like edits that I did like on YouTube. And 9 times out of 10, when you're pursuing something, you can say, how does Casey Neistat's setup, or I forget his last name, but Peter, he has like the most beautiful footage for vlogging, but it's just vlogging. So it's like his setup, his camera. And I just started picking things that I liked from each person. And I put it together and was like, all right, this is cool. I like this. Let's put it out. Cause I'm more DIY based, and a lot of DIY YouTubers like to be in the intro for 5 minutes of the video, and then it's a 2-minute DIY, and then it's a 5-minute outro. And that bothered me. I was like, why? And I did it. If you watch my earlier videos, I had an intro, and I'm so awkward. Like and subscribe. Like that's not who I am. For me, I have no time. I want to just know the project. I want to get in, get out, but I want people to enjoy the music and relax and really want to do the DIY because it's pretty. So I just executed it the way like I would want to see a video. And it actually ended up working out. So.
How important do you think that is to just not do what you see, but do what you like is true to you?
It's so important, but it's so hard, especially when you're in an industry so saturated by people that get so many views by putting out a trending topic or relationship challenges or slime or whatever. And you're like, but you started your channel on fitness. Like, where are we going with this? For me, it's like, I wanted to stay on DIYing all the time, no matter what it was. And for me, I don't look at trends. Like, I like this project. I'm gonna put it out. People are gonna like it or they're not, and that's fine. I put out twice a week, so there they go. They can see too. But it's really hard because when you are in the beginning phases, you're like, oh, 10 views. You know, like for me, I'm like, why doesn't this have thousands of views? It's so good, but it's not what people want to see. But you have to still stick to that, because that at the end, for me, the end goal is someone can look back at all my content and be like, she's never really changed. She's stayed the same, and it's proven to be successful.
Yeah. And just for some people listening, can you describe some of the project? You mentioned the Ecobee, which attaches to your thermostat in your house, right? And then it senses each room.
No, Ecobee is a thermostat itself. It's a smart thermostat. So basically it has like room sensors, and it like senses when you're using the air, when you're not. It'll like notify me on my phone, like, hey, no motion upstairs, with like, because you have individual room sensors, but it's like a thermostat. Yeah. Sorry.
And then what did you do for Ecobee? Was it a video post on your channel?
And then a video post on my channel, and then a final shots, styled shots of the product. So like Heaven's little miniature hand coming up and touching it with like my office in the background, like stuff like that.
And then what other projects? Sorry, Mikey. What other projects? Just a couple real quick.
Right now I'm working on this thing called Clean Sweep with Home Depot, and you're not only supposed to do.
Is that
one
the
wall.
Star Wars one?
No, that one was cool. That was Samsung. That was for the Star Wars premiere. Actually, when they were releasing it. Yeah, that was a specialty vacuum. That's the Roomba. Like, it was so cute. But this one I'm working on, like, I demoed all the shelving in our garage and painted all the walls white. I'm turning it in one wall into like a skate wall for Paul, because it all got inspired there. They sent me a workbench. I put it up. I'm like, now our garage looks like shit. I have to figure this out. So I just changed everything. So it's like a complete garage makeover right now that we're doing with Home Depot. Nice. Yeah.
And how is it tearing apart the house? Like, is Paul okay with it?
I don't ask him, because like,
I can relate to that.
Water?
Just so you guys don't know, Paul's
sorry.
here
What
right
are you
now.
saying? I don't know what you're saying. I'm not getting paid by them anymore.
Oh, it's done?
Yeah, it's been done. It's just my last bottle. That's why it's not on the counter.
Oh,
Come on,
man.
babe, I got it. So I never ask, because I tell him. He just doesn't, like me. Sometimes he'll talk about skating, and I'm like, yeah, that's great, but I'm not really listening. Same thing with him. I'll be like, I'm working on this project, and I'll go through all the steps. In my head, it's like, I'm telling you, but then I'll come home and be like, everything's off the walls. Like, why is everything in the middle? I'm like, oh, I had this campaign with Home Depot. Like, we've had to park outside for I don't even know how long, because I just tore everything apart, just hammered my shelves down. I don't ever ask, because it always adds value. I would never do something to the house that would cause any harm. Like, I only do it to get paid, but also like it is an investment for him too, for the property.
Has anybody
Property
hit
value
you
is
up yet to come do anything to their homes?
No, but I want to start a DIY series, which again, jeez, Paul came up with.
He came up with
He also
it?
came up with a name for my fucking YouTube channel. It's literally,
Nice.
so basically
Hey.
Paul and I's joke, even last night, just a smaller example to bring it down. Like, I put out thousands of rose petals, lit all these candles.
Oh, it's
Paul-
Valentine's Day yesterday.
Yeah. And Paul comes in and I'm like, can you help me? And he's like, yeah. And he does like 5 rose petals. He like separates them and then he like throws them on the floor and he turns around. I'm like, oh, I'm done. He's like, I basically did everything. But it's so true. Like, Paul comes in the clutch and like finishes what I'm doing. And he's like, yeah, handled it. But it's, yeah, he's not.
He's the closer.
But he came up, we were in the car and I was like, gosh, like people are commenting on this DIY bathroom makeover that I just did, but I love all the rooms in our house. I have no reason to redo any. And then I was like, I should just do a series, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, Spanish. I'm like, oh my God, we could do like a bachelor pad edition. And so I think I'm going to redo Spanish as like
nice.
bedroom, bathroom. Because those are like, a smaller closet. And that's what, just people love. They love to see how you can utilize a really small space. It's huge. People are obsessed with like small room makeovers. I don't know what it is. They like want to see how much you can get for your buck, I guess.
Yeah.
So eventually though, I want to have a fucking show on that. Yeah.
So real quick, let me take a quick break. And if you're watching on YouTube, go subscribe on iTunes. Some people are watching, some people are listening.
Oh, I like
Rachel,
that.
we have 2 different spots.
Crossover.
Yeah. So we got to let those know who are watching YouTube. And also we'd like to thank Ryan Nadeau behind the camera right now. We're going to show him and we're going to film him over there at some point. He loves being on camera. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe. And also, reviews are greatly appreciated. If you like what we're saying, please leave us a review on iTunes and back into it.
So when you do brand deals, a lot of them care about engagement, following. How much energy do you put into building your following on your channels?
You know what is funny is I find that companies don't give a shit about engagement. Like, I'm never asked, like, how come this didn't do well or execute well on our end with numbers. And I think that's because I am already so good at engagement. Like, that's where you get all your support from. Like, that's why you become who you are.
So what does a company want to see when they're sponsoring somebody?
For me, for a contract, it's like a video, 3 to 5 photos of this, and that. Do then.
It's just create
like content, which I
that's
love.
Good.
Yeah, and it's just like my content. It's not like there's no limits to what I can do. It's just like, this is the shot we need of this product, and then like 4 other things. But it's never like following up with, why aren't you talking to people underneath your pictures or anything. But I think that's what is the main.
What about size of following? Do they care?
In the beginning, I think you get paid obviously more if you have more of a following. But for me, what has become quickly a mission just in my career in general is I want to be that broad that doesn't have a lot of following, and then you want to work with me all the time regardless. You're like, her content is so good.
I don't know. That's different than what you used to say. I wanted to be Beyonce.
Oh yeah, that of course. But like again,
That's
like
a big
she
following.
wasn't focused on numbers.
Yeah,
she was focused on her music, how she performed, her concert, her lighting, her team. Like, she's not like, oh my God, I lost 1,000 followers on Instagram.
So who was thinking about numbers, Jay-Z?
Huh?
Who was thinking about numbers
Money-wise?
for Jay-Z?
Oh, I don't know.
All right.
Well, no, like, what do you mean? I don't want to be popular,
Yeah, but you gotta have
but I want that to come naturally because of my content.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to not.
course.
I don't want to be held back to pitching to a company.
Of course.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that get stuck in
On numbers.
Well, not even numbers. Like, a lot of people get stuck in like wanting to be small. Like, a lot of people don't want to hit the masses.
Oh,
and,
Oh, fuck yeah, I want to hit the masses. My numbers, I want them to fucking shoot up there.
There she is.
There's the ambition. That's what we're going for.
That's what I was waiting
But
for.
I'm not like waiting for, you know what I'm saying? I'm not waiting for my numbers to reach a level.
You're
I'm like,
doing it the right way.
I know it will come.
Yeah.
Like, I know.
Yeah.
It will fucking be there.
Yeah.
But you fucking know I want 1.5 like Paul on fucking Instagram and we're fighting about it.
That's what I was looking
Of course.
for.
But like, that's not, but it's funny. I took it more so of like, because so many kids want to be just Instagram famous. And then they try to create a company out of that, but they have no like actual, I don't know how to say it behind the scenes. Like they want a bunch of followers. Like you can pay for likes, pay for comments, all this stuff, and you look huge. And then when someone asks you to like, hey, we want to sponsor you, you can't deliver.
Yeah.
Because you're just focused on numbers. For me, I'm like, I'm going to focus on my content because I know the numbers will come.
Yep. And how's the DIY? What's that?
I said, if that even made sense.
No, I did. So how's the DIY space? What's your competition look like in the space?
I mean, I can just be blunt. Everyone, it's just the YouTube, like it's just. But I'm not friends with anybody that's a DIY YouTuber, so I don't fucking care.
Are you trying to say it's lame?
It's so lame. It's so like how to do slime or like rustic farmhouse, which is great. But like for me, there's no. I don't really see anybody like me out there. And if I do, they're like HGTV hosts that are working with power tools and have TV shows. I'm like, oh yeah, let's get there. But like in my space, it's cool because I'm just creating like a new, hopefully I want to inspire the people to be like, she just does whatever. And she like is pursuing her dream, just doing whatever she wants. So hopefully I create more of the DIYers like that.
What's the end? What do you aspire to be?
Oh, this was recent, but I want to be like the Tim Taylor from Home Improvement. I want to just like redo that show, but with me as the host and like a female as a co-host. And I'm with power tools. I'm showing you how to put a window up, like sanding a table, whatever it is. Like just the little things that people don't think you can do, or maybe you just don't know how. I just want to have like a huge talk show meets actually like showing you how to change a doorknob if you need to.
So when you say talk show, do you want to do this on TV? Like
Yeah, I want
TV
like
show?
a hit show, hit home improvement
Okay,
show.
so I have a question for you then.
Yeah.
Because to me, I think TV and you want to call this YouTube or influencers or whatever it is, right? I think it's going to switch. And I think actually the TV people are going to become less important than the influencers.
I should have clarified. I meant like a series on like YouTube Red, not necessarily
wanna stay
YouTube
on
Red, but
YouTube.
like Netflix.
Yeah.
That's what I would like.
Okay.
It's like a Netflix show if we want to get specific.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
Yeah, some of their shows are so good now. Like the
That's what
comedy
and it's
stuff
like
and what they're
original
doing. It's becoming
content
so
too.
good.
Yeah.
We just started watching a show with Heaven the other day called A Series of Unfortunate Events, and it's like strictly on Netflix. And Paul and I were instantly like, "This is a really good show.
Yeah.
It's filmed well. It's insane." I'm like, "Wow."
Yeah, their comedy stuff is amazing right now.
Oh, the comedy is insane. Have you watched, what is it called? Andy and Jim and Andy? Have you seen Jim
I
and
haven't.
Andy? It's phenomenal. It's so good.
So the goal, the end game is to have a show wherever it be,
The
but
goal
a good
is to
show.
be the new Martha Stewart, like, or just her best friend and like take me under your wing, whatever you want to do, Martha, if you're listening, like, come on, let's do it. But like, just, I want to be that broad. Like if you think about home improvement or you think about hosting a party, it's always me. No matter what it has to do with DIY, you're just, oh, Rachel has a thing for that. Rachel has a thing. But it's not in the same, like it's not in one niche.
Yeah.
I'm everywhere. I want to just like infest, like I just like invade every space.
And Mikey gets on me for asking this every time, but give us a range of what you earn.
Wait, hang on. I love this question. I love it. You always just want to ask it, like basically give our intro.
I like
This
to
is
just like
Omni.
hit
Omni.
people
This is
with
Rachel.
It, you know?
So how much money do you make?
Financially, yeah,
You
inspiring.
can't just go straight in. Like you gotta like tell what
have
you're doing.
we eased in enough to this
Oh
question,
yeah,
Rachel?
this is perfect timing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely know, I don't know how to
You don't
word
have
it.
to
To me,
say
it's the most
specifics.
money I've ever made. Let's just say that. Like, the one paycheck I got from the first time from Home Depot, I literally wanted to email back and be like, I think there's one too many zeros. Like, I was like, there's no fucking way that this money, once I knew that money was available, though, I didn't question it. I'm like, yeah, campaign, let's do
Yeah.
it. Yep. So, like, I don't really have a range right now because I feel like I'm just getting started. But, like, in a year, ask me what I'm making, and then I can be like,
So are you actively looking for new deals with people, or do you only use that? What was it?
22 squared. Actively, I'm just putting out content that I know will attract those sponsors that I want. But right now, I'm not really pursuing any other company besides Home Depot because they're also such a awesome platform to dive into anything. Like I'm doing a garage makeover and then I have a smart home contract and then now I'm doing a vacuum review. Like it's everywhere. Yeah. So why ruin that relationship by trying to outsource somebody with a vacuum when like I can just consistently talk to them because they are so rad. So I pitched a gift guide for him idea and like did a deck and linked all the product that I wanted. And the email that I got back was like, we ordered it. It should be to you tomorrow. Wow. So like, it's just, they're so rad. So I'm not actively looking outside of Home Depot because they're just.
So here's why I ask, because people that are aspiring to do something, they look at it and they think the HGTV level you're talking about, that's big money, right? But they're starting out making nothing. So as just freshly getting paid, can you make between $50,000 and $150,000 a year 100%. Doing what you're doing?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's realistic. People can actually do DIY.
You can make, like, if I stayed on track to what I was doing, I could make 4 times that in this year if I just stayed consistent with paid projects. You know what I'm saying? But like, you also, again, need to deliver.
Yeah.
I feel like if I were to have just done the bare minimum for any sponsor that asked me in the beginning, whether it was free or not, I just like shot them one photo and a link and like didn't say much in my email. But I'm like, I talk way too much. So in my emails, I'm thorough. But I feel like if I wasn't like that and I hid back behind like what you should be professionally, I don't think I would consistently be getting deals because they wouldn't see the value in me because I would be just like everyone else.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that are standing out. First, I'm seeing you put together amazing presentations, right?
You have to.
Okay.
100%.
And then you did more than what they asked. Those are kind of the 2 big things I heard you say.
Big things. For me, my main thing is it's all about the details. So whether you're speaking to somebody about a certain campaign you're doing, like even recently, like Paul and I are getting our garage floor done, but that was inspired from the workbench. And I emailed them like, hey, I'll send you the deliverables a week before, but I am also going to resubmit if you can see any garage flooring after the deadline because our garage floor is actually getting done the day of the deadline. And they were like, what? Like, okay, that sounds great. Like, thank you, but then that led to, hey, we have another campaign. You're stuck with us. We'd like to work with you.
And one more thing too, you also mentioned that sometimes they don't even ask you to post. And it sounds like you're just producing content for them and you get paid well for it.
Yeah. I think also as a creator, I've said no to so many things because like fashion companies, oh, let's give you free watches and you can post it in return for this, that. No, there's money to be made everywhere. Like I don't care about, unfortunately, I don't really care about my appearance. Like sweat outfits are my jam, like slides every day. Like I don't want your high heels. I don't want to post it for free. Like that's not who I am. I don't wear that, And I feel like a lot of people this day and age just say yes to everything. So I think you also have to have like a gauge on that because you can get yourself into kind of a...
So if somebody hits you up to just, hey, I'm going to send you some free product. I want you to post. Is it just a hard no, or does it really have to fit your lifestyle? Or always a hard no?
It's a hard no if it doesn't fit my lifestyle. Like if
what
like
if it fits
like
what if it's something what if it's something you guys use every day? You love it. They hit you up like, Rachel, we're going to send you some stuff. Just give us a post. Still a hard no?
Yeah, because it's like I just know who I am because like. Life Water was a sponsor of mine in the latter half of last year. And that's water. Like I can throw that anywhere and it's beautiful. They support DIYers. Like this last round that came out of design labels was like all from kids in high school or teachers that are artists and they designed it. So like it's a company I can back through and through because it is literally DIY inspired. But like if a watch company is like, we're going to send you 3 watches for free. Can you post 5 Instagrams? It's like, no, I actually have a price for that. I don't do that. And I think you have to stick to that because if you post free product all the time, people are so thoroughly connected. Like, oh, you pay her for posts? Like she does it for free for me. Like, I don't know. I just want people to always know like, no, she's about her bread.
Yeah. I hear you. I love it.
Yeah. You got to
have some standards, huh?
Yeah, you got to. I mean, but email wise, I'm very nice. Like someone just reached out to me to wear watches and I just responded like, I'm so pumped you thought of me. Like so flattered, but this just wouldn't translate to my audience. And unfortunately, you wouldn't get the feedback you're expecting. Yeah. I'm just very honest.
It's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really true.
But they were still like, let me send it to you. And I was like, I'm good. Thank you. I hope you have a good day. But if like, like it's different.
No, I mean, this is like we were saying earlier, I haven't done one yet. Mm-hmm. I've turned down everybody.
Yeah. It's like the right number and it does the product might not match me.
More than the number, I think like people hit me up and I'm like, dude, my fans, my audience, they are not going to like this.
Oh, they'll be pissed because your supporters.
And then they're bummed at you because they know it's not authentic, right? So it really does have to fit you.
100%.
Yeah.
Because I'll feel weird even like posting some stuff that I'll like look back on posts or like that I'm drafting, and I'll rewrite the caption 50 times until I'm like, I'll just be honest, you know, like the Ecobee thing, it was weird for me to promote it, but it ended up being true. Like in my caption, like anything that can make Paul and I's life easier, where we can't get out of bed, and you pitch it that way, then it comes off more natural.
So for people just getting started, and I think this goes across, like it doesn't even have to be just DIY, but somebody who wants to come into the space of being an influencer or having their job be content creation, whatever it is, where do you think they start?
My advice to everybody is like, you just have to press record. Like if it's something that you're filming, you're shooting on your phone, like whatever it is, photos, a podcast, you have to press the record button. It's not live. No one's going to hear it. No one's going to judge you unless you put it out. And when you put it out, that's when you know if it takes or not, or what you need to work on to adapt. I really have nothing else. Every time someone asks me a question, like, you just have to buy what it is that you want to do or pursue it and like actually do it. That's the only way you'll know if you want to.
Yeah.
Because some people are talking for so long about what I did it for so long. I think I talked about the living to DIY thing for like a year, and then we shot one. And I was like, this is not what I want it to be. It was like a talk show at first, and it was terrible. I was in front of the camera. I got my makeup done. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't wear makeup. This is so crazy. But I knew the feeling right when we stepped into my workshop. We started DIYing, and I was DIYing with someone next to me. I'm like, this is what I want to do. But I wouldn't have known if I did the talk show first and then film that second.
So you just have to take action and figure it out.
Action is key. That's like literally my life motto. You can ask Paul. Everything is figure it out.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Like it just do it. And like I don't like when people ask me like, how'd you do it? It's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Whether it's the right way or the wrong way, you gotta fucking do it. You literally need to DIY it.
Yeah.
In every form.
I totally agree.
And what was your setup in the beginning?
It's the same as it is now.
Yo, what happened to you?
You okay?
Take a drink of water. What was your setup? You used a Canon camera?
Yeah, it's the same setup since the beginning. I have the same camera. I've had it for 2 years. This year is my first year since I'm making money. I'm like, maybe I'll buy a new camera.
What was the what Canon?
It's a Canon T3i Rebel. It was used on Amazon. I got like the cheapest one, so I was like, I'm not paying that much money, and I don't know if this is gonna work. And then I got a Sigma lens, which I broke and then took it into repair and never picked it up again. So it's still there, and I just bought another one because I didn't have time. And then a dinky ass tripod that broke like not even like 6 months ago. I hot glued it and E6000 it back together, and I used that. And I bought a mic like 2 weeks ago.
So what, $1,500 setup?
No, the camera's a little bit expensive. I think it was
a T3
like
for
T3i.
a used T3.
Well, the lens is like $400.
Okay.
So yeah, you're right, probably $1,500.
Okay.
But like the stuff I'm looking at now, that's what hurts my soul. I'm like,
sorry,
well, this is still good. So why do I need to get new ones?
I just want to make the point of you spent $1,500 to $2,000,
and I've gotten that back.
And it sounds like you got that back real easy.
I got it back really easy.
You got it back.
Actually, not really easy. Like in a year and a half, a year's time.
But not only that, you spent, and I think it was less than that, but you created amazing looking content. I think a lot of times people get hung up on getting the best stuff. Mm-hmm. You bought a Canon T3i Rebel.
Yeah.
And a lens, and created the go check her content. It's really good.
I mean, I literally use iMovie. People are like, what do you edit with? I'm like,
iMovie?
I use iMovie. I don't use anything fancy because for me, I don't really need to dabble in that world yet because I'm not about transitions, fading in, fading out, text. Like for me, it's skip to the beat of the music and stick with the bass of the music. My whole thing is based off of the soundtrack essentially because I've always, since I was young, any movie had a good soundtrack. I instantly wanted it. Like that made me feel a certain way. So for me, I just started adding that into my content. I think you really got to find something that you just become obsessed with. Like I love finding new music for my videos or using old music where I'm like, oh my God, I used that song like 6 months ago. It works perfect for this. Like there's just something about that content creation that you can't just do it for money. Cause I mean, you can obviously, and people are successful, but like when you really are passionate about something within it, just the smallest, even if it's the audio, people eat that shit up because people that know it, they know it.
Yeah, and I think you could feel it. Like when you watch somebody who cares, you just can sense it almost.
Yeah.
You know?
Was that the question?
Yeah, and well, how was that process for you? You mentioned earlier that there was a lot of different things you did. Why did you land on DIY? Did it like resonate?
It was just that comes from my parents. My parents always told me, like, find something that will never go out of style. And they never like forced me to go to college, even though they wanted me to. Like,
Did you go to college?
I went to like a year and cried every class, and I lied to every teacher and passed every final, but I never really went to college.
So didn't do good with teachers.
No, I don't do good with
bosses.
someone telling me I have to be in a room. Like, that was really what it was. Like, I hated it. I couldn't, my brain, it just felt like it capped off. Like, the minute I walked into the classroom, it shut. I didn't learn that way. I had to use my hands, have a hammer, be like physically creating something to understand the process. But with DIY, I did baking. I tried like 5 things before it, and nothing stuck like I thought it would. And then this one is like, I never get bored. I can bake one week. I can ruin my garage the next week. I can build something out of wood. I can decide to do a flower arrangement. Like, it was just something to me that it will never go out of style, because people always want to know how to do something, no matter what it is. Because my dad, he's like, they always told me, like, my mom is a nurse and a home health nurse, and those will never go out of style because everyone always needs to be helped. And then my dad is a golf teacher, and everyone wants to golf. Golf will never go out of style.
No.
So I took one from their book. I was like, DIY. No one's going to tell me they don't need something to DIY. So that's how I found
absolutely. So tell us what it's like dating Paul. This guy, we just interviewed him last time.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about it, but talk about the mindset of relationships.
Oh, I didn't have one in the beginning when we first started dating. You know, like, you come into a relationship, especially with him, like, he's anytime, like, if you haven't met Paul, when you do, you instantly just fall in love because he's just so good. You just talk to him and you're like, yes, you know, like, whatever you're saying,
he's a
yes, I don't
likable
even
guy.
care. Yeah, he's just a likable guy. But then when I started dating him, and I really realized, like, that never turns off. Like, I get it all the time. And, like, I was so mentally just not in a good space. I was drinking too much. You know, like, I was just a mess all around because I didn't have something to guide me. I had that fire. And I don't know if anyone else feels this way that currently has a passion, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I knew I wanted to be great at something. I've always, since I was little, like, I'm going to do something and I'm going to be awesome. You know, like, I just had that weird fire in me. Like, I have to do something that satiates this. And then dating him, when he's doing that, and I'm not making any moves, I'm not grabbing my balls and going after it, I'm using all these excuses. He was, like, not meaning to, but, like, holding a mirror up, essentially. And I had to, like, correct the things that weren't meshing, because you can't be with someone like him and not be on that wavelength, is what I realized. And I think I didn't know that until I picked up that camera and I put my first video out. Unfortunately, that was 3 years in. Thank God he stuck around, because I was a fucking psychopath. But then now it's cool to be on the opposite side and be like, but if I broke up with him or he broke up with me in the beginning, like, we wouldn't be doing this together. Like, we wouldn't be feeding each other and inspiring each other on a daily basis now. Like,
yeah. So tell us about that. So the process of figuring out what you want to do, that is a difficult process, and it's ups and downs. But now you're on your path. He's on his.
Oh, it's, I keep dropping the F-bomb, but it's like the most incredible feeling. And I can't believe that I fought that feeling for so long, for 3 years. I could have so easily picked up a camera 5 years ago if I wanted to, if I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I think people get hung up on that when they hear about people. At least that's what I got hung up on. It was like, yeah, but you started it. And that's the hardest part, is just starting. So when I started and I got that feeling of like, whoa, this is cool. I'm like, why didn't I fucking do this sooner? I would have, like, saved him so many years of, like, fucking me being just a Gemini and crazy.
So it is difficult figuring out what you want to do, but now that you guys are both doing the same thing, you've got to feed off of each other, I'm assuming.
Oh, 100%. Like, if he comes home, you know, with just something he's hyped on Instagram, am I allowed to say that you call them anthems, or is that like a personal thing? Okay. So when Paul comes home, you can tell he's stoked, because he'll come home and just, I got an anthem. And that instantly, I'm like, I need to edit. Like, I need to do something. Because, like,
An anthem is a skate clip?
Is like, you know, like the runs on Instagram, like the videos that you guys see, and like, just everyone loves it. Like, everyone just blows
like it went
up.
viral?
Yeah, like
So an anthem is a good video.
Like when his posts do well.
Yeah.
Like when he's like, holy shit, in 30 minutes, this amount of views, like that jazzes me so much, because he was out all day and turned around content that quick. I don't think about it from a skating level. I think about it like, you literally just got that in the last 4 hours, edit it, put it out. It takes me 3 days to do a video, or like a day if I'm really, really focused. I don't even put it out on YouTube in a day, you know? So for me now, I'm like, yeah, let's fucking do this. Go back and forth. Like, I got content, you got content. I got a deal, you got a deal.
Okay, so my biggest thing is always there's always years where people don't get started.
Yeah.
So how do you get out of looking back? How do you get out of you're not doing it, and then you just take the leap? What does it take to get people there?
If you want me to be completely honest as to why, like, it just sounds like such a heavy experience. But just so everyone knows, it's not. You were there, actually. What pushed me was my biological mother went into a coma the week before I was going to start YouTube. And I didn't talk to her for like 10 years, maybe. Like, so long I didn't talk to her. And I remember the week it was happening, my uncle called like, oh, like she's in the hospital, but she was like an alcoholic. So I'm like, oh, she's there and I'm going to come and she's going to try to reconcile a relationship. I just knew how she worked. And then when he called and he was like, no, she's in a coma. That's when I was like, if I don't put this video out and pursue what I want to do, I could die tomorrow. You know, because like she had like a form of strep that like, it sounds so like crazy. It is crazy, but she had like a form of strep that exploded in her, nothing to do with alcoholism, nothing. She was just sick. And that's what made me like, I will be so pissed if I ever am in a situation like that, or I get sick and I never pursued what I wanted to do. Yeah. That was the catalyst to me being like the prime example of, she never went after what she wanted. She never knew this was going to happen. Obviously it happened. And I was just sitting there like staring at her like, I have to do this like for her. Like I have to just become my own person and make sure if anything were to ever happen that I would never look back and be like, oh, I wish. Because I didn't know how she was feeling. She was in a coma. We couldn't talk, you know. So like, I wish I could converse and see how she was, you know, but I couldn't. And that was my main kick in the ass of like, you literally have one life. Why not live it the way you dream about it? How come you can't get the car that you want? How come you can't get the job that you want? How come you can't get the house? You can. You have to work for it, and you have to just, only you can do it.
Yeah.
That's
life
all you can
is
do.
Short.
It's so short.
So short. So where can people get a hold of you or see what you're up to?
Instagram, Rachel_Metz, or my YouTube channel, which is like youtube.com/living2DIY with Rachel Metz. It's so long, but you could just Google me. I'm the only Rachel Metz, I think.
So Instagram at Rachel Metz.
Yep.
Living to DIY.
YouTube is Living to DIY with Rachel Metz, and then Instagram's just Rachel_Metz.
All right, so go check her out, you guys. She's got an amazing looking content. Check out what she does, doing her thing, making a living. Love it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming on, Rachel.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Hopefully I gave some good advice.
No, you didn't. This is
your
first one.
story's
You nailed it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Hopefully.
And I want people to go check out your stuff because it's good.
Yeah,
Trust me,
do
guys.
it.
Go check
Come
it
on
out.
over.
And to those of you watching on YouTube, don't forget that you can listen to episodes on the go by subscribing on iTunes. And for more info on AVNI, visit avniintelligence.com or give us a follow on social at AVNI Intelligence. And join us next time for more interviews with influencers and entrepreneurs. That's a wrap. We'll catch you soon.